What's going on, podcasters and YouTubers? This is Hav here, one of your hosts from the Real Fan Review, coming out of Long Island, New York. With me today, we got our man in the chair, Al.
How's it going, everybody?
Yes, and we got myself, Hav, here tonight. No B. B's doing something out east. He can't make it. He's probably in a vineyard somewhere. We got Sanj is busy with fam, or he's working. But so, when we record on a Monday night, definitely no Sanj, but it's kind of okay because I don't think Sanj and Brandon had a chance to watch the movie that we're going to talk about today, which is something that Al recommended that we watch.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Prey.
Yeah.
It's like either a prequel to all the Predator movies.
Yeah, definitely a prequel. Yeah.
Definitely prequel. So we'll get into Prey today, but we're going to first talk about She-Hulk, man.
Mhm.
She-Hulk's coming out this Thursday.
Yeah, man.
It's supposed to be like an Ally McBeal type of a show there, which I never really got into. I liked Ally McBeal. I watched a couple episodes here and there.
Yeah.
But they say She-Hulk's supposed to be like a comedy / lawyer show / they're going to be like showing us, which is kind of weird because it's almost like this whole like Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness thing where they're just throwing things at us that like, if that existed, how come we don't know about it, right? Yeah. Like that big ox or cow thing that was in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Now they're supposed to, right, where'd he come from? And now I could have swore I saw like an elf with like pointy ears pretending to be a judge in the commercial for the She-Hulk trailer.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be a bunch of things that are going wrong, and these people she's going to defend.
Yeah.
Or, but I'm like very curious as to know what's going on. And I don't know if you saw the commercials for it. She's also breaking the fourth wall a couple of times, looking at us, talking to us, watching her.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on She-Hulk, man? Is this something that you're looking forward to this Thursday or Wednesday night?
As a big fan of Deadpool, that's actually kind of what drew me in to want to watch the show more than originally I was, because at first I was like, all right, it's going to be another Disney Plus show. It's going to be another tie-in supposedly to the MCU where we're digging for those tie-ins. But then they started showing like that aspect of her with the breaking the fourth wall. Right. And then with the tie-in with Daredevil at the end of the last trailer. And
we're in the yellow and red. We're in the yellow and black, right? Or yellow and red.
Yeah. So just looking forward to like how, all the other ways that's going to tie in. Cause I think he's going to play not too big of a factor, but he's going to have a decent presence in this show. Plus the, Abomination, I think is who she's actually representing. So who else is going to be brought in? How else is it tying into the MCU? So, this one is definitely the one I'm wanting to see because of how it's incorporating the rest of the MCU and then what it may spell out for the direction of the MCU.
Yeah, no, definitely. And listen, I think just because it's part of the MCU, I'm interested, right? Bottom line, MCU, I'm watching it. I want to know what's going on. I want to see if it plays into the movies, if it plays into what's going on in what we now know is the multiverse saga. Mm-hmm. And I'm just curious, and again, I wasn't a big, like most of the new characters like Shang-Chi and, Miss Marvel and all these characters here, I really don't know them that well. I think I stopped reading comic books when these new characters started coming around. Even though She-Hulk's been around for a long time, I don't think she got that popular until that later down the road kind of stuff. Because I always knew who she was. She was just like, to me, the female version of Hulk, but never read her comic books or anything like that. So I'm interested in learning about her, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. And that whole lawyer aspect of it as well seems very interesting. The one thing I do know about the character is that I know how she got her powers there was some kind of blood transfusion between Hulk and She-Hulk.
Yeah.
And that's how she got the powers. From the commercials and from what I'm hearing right now, it looks like she's getting her powers from an accident that happened where it looks like one of those ships from Sakaar from, I believe it's Thor not Love and Thunder, Thor Ragnarok in the beginning, where he was kind of like doing that World War Hulk thing or the Planet Hulk thing.
Okay.
It looks like somebody from that area is in a ship because it looks like the Grand Master ship from that movie Thor Ragnarok. And it looks like that ship comes in to either kill Hulk or shoot at Hulk or do something, and they cause a big car accident. Oh. And I'm assuming there's something that happens with that's going to create our She-Hulk version there. But I don't know. I mean, besides Daredevil and all this stuff, there's a lot of rumors about other characters appearing. You got thoughts of Fantastic Four. Like, I think they said Thing might show up.
That
There's characters from Daredevil, maybe Spider-Man. I mean, I think there's no way in hell Spider-Man shows up in this thing. So
no,
it's,
matter of fact, I think I just saw recently that Feige told him, "Yeah, nah, Spider-Man, you can't touch Spider-Man."
nah, that's a Sony thing, man. They're not gonna
Yeah,
let him go for that. Not for a one episode thing.
yeah, not a little
There's
cameo.
too. It's gonna cost too much money.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I mean, are there any characters you're looking forward to? Because I believe Abomination looks like he has a big role in this too.
yeah. Because from what it seems like, he's the main one that she's representing. Because from what I understand, it was going to be a series where she was representing enhanced individuals. So I don't
Hmm.
know if he's the first, and then that's how the show starts, and then throughout other episodes, she's representing others,
Right.
or if he's the only one and main one that she's representing throughout the show. I'm not sure what direction they're going in. Obviously, we'll see as the series plays out. But if it is others, it would be interesting to see if that's how they bring in Fantastic Four, or if we get another character introduced to us. So we've already had Reed Richards. It'll be interesting if that's how they bring in the Thing.
Right.
Maybe he's already. I don't know if they're gonna do where he's already had his transformation. Because I think I heard that Fantastic Four isn't going to be an origin story.
Oh
So
wow, they have to pull that off some way
yeah,
somehow.
so it could play out the way they're doing now. We've already met Reed Richards as Mr. Fantastic. If we meet Thing as the Thing and not how he became it, then you're just once you do all these little cameos in either series or other movies, then by the time their movie comes out in what, like a year and a half, 2 years from now,
Right.
we've already met the characters. We already know how they got their power, so it doesn't need to be redone again. Just
Right.
roll them out into their movie, and having already met who each person is going to be played by.
Yeah, that would be interesting, man. Because I like seeing like I'm not sure who's gonna play the Thing or his AKA's Ben Grimm.
Yeah.
If John Cena shows up, with the whole hand thing, and and
you
he's go for it.
I was just gonna say I was not thinking him, but he would make a great Ben Grimm,
Right.
and forget it. That would be a good casting.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see him pop up and be like suing somebody, and then all of a sudden, like, like Al said, 2 years down the road, there he is as Ben Grimm. Now they show us how they became the Fantastic Four.
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm very interested in seeing what's going to happen. Again, that's going to come out either this Wednesday at midnight. So us in the East Coast, we'll wait till Thursday to see it.
Yeah.
But if it comes out on Wednesday, then good luck to you West Coast people. Enjoy it. We'll see y'all the next day. But yeah, man. I mean, again, can't wait to see it. It's coming out this week. And again, pros and cons to Disney Plus shows. They're a little short. They're a little bit all over the place with the ending.
Yeah.
But not for nothing, you can't say anything bad about getting more MCU, right? Like
Exactly.
I'm not tired of it. I'm not over it.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that, House of Dragons, and Lord of the Rings. Let's go. Oh, and football. Let it
There
go.
you go.
Let's go.
There you go.
Yeah, man. So listen, let's talk about the movie, Al, that you said you said we should watch this movie this week and talk about it next week. And I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know, Al, a Hulu movie?
Okay. I thought the same.
HULU,
Yeah, I thought the
Hulu.
same thing. I said, "Oh, this can't be good if it went to Hulu." Like,
Right.
yeah, kid. I mean, because I figured if anybody is going to put money and it was going to be good, you'd see it on Netflix or something, or maybe even Amazon Prime or HBO Max or something. I figured if it's on Hulu, it must have really been low budget.
Oh, it was. It was definitely low budget, but they did the damn thing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. No, that like I
all
said,
right.
I threw it on. I was surprised. That's why I was like, all right, let me tell the fellas they got to check this one out.
Yeah, absolutely did. I watched it last night, Al. So let's do a non-spoiler really quick, just in case anybody is listening on the podcast about Prey and they haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
Let's try to give you a chance to watch it and be surprised like we were.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it comes out. Al's telling me it's on Hulu. So my expectations are like, I'm not even gonna bother wasting my time to watch it. If it's on Hulu, the assumptions are always that these movies, if they mean anything, they're gonna go to theaters,
Mm-hmm.
or worst case scenario, they'll go on Netflix. When they go to Hulu or some other like streaming service, YouTube Red, like you're not gonna be like, oh yeah, I can't wait to look forward to seeing that. No, you think it's
Yeah.
shit,
Yeah.
right? But you know what it is, man. I guess because the amount of money they spent making the movie, the assumption was it wasn't gonna be anything special because this movie's supposed to take place. I believe I saw the year 1712,
Yeah, it was like
if I'm
300 years.
correct.
Yeah, it's 300 years in
Right.
the past. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's like, you're doing everything with I forget, it was it Mohican Indians.
Yeah, it was one. Yeah.
I believe so. If I'm incorrect, again,
Somebody
it's just
comment
my,
below. Yeah.
yeah, please just let me know. But at the same time, no disrespect to any of the different sects or types of Indians there are.
Hmm.
But I believe it's the Mohican Indians, and it's just so interesting and cool. And this is the thing that I love about movies. It gives you an opportunity to see something different that you may have never seen before or witnessed or know enough information about.
Hmm.
And if it's really, really interesting, I might just look up information about it and learn about something that I had no clue about.
Yep.
And just to see the Indians and how they were living their life and in this time period of 1712, and just seeing what they're going through and how they're living, I think was very fascinating. And again, on top of that, you layer this story with the Predator. Man, it was really interesting, man. And I
Yeah.
gotta tell you, I was very impressed with the movie. It was very low key, 1 hour and a half
Yeah.
movie, Al. Dude, you can't get a movie less than 2 hours now.
Yeah.
So 1 hour and a half, low budget, but they landed the story, man.
Hmm.
And I can't tell you. Listen, I liked it a lot. I would love to tell you guys more. So when we go to the spoilers version, we'll tell you about that. But Al, how about you, man? What do you think of the movie?
Yeah, like I said when I recommended it, one of the main things I liked about the movie was they didn't go overboard with what they
No,
were trying to do. A lot of these movies, like the Terminator movies, the Predator movies, they were getting too much into the gadgetry of the Predator,
the
like
weapons and all that
yeah,
stuff.
showing all this super CGI and everything is graphics and so forth. This one, by going 300 years in the past, yeah, he had his gadgets and everything, but the girl and the other Indians, in terms of fighting back, had to rely on their hunting skills, their natural
Hmm.
ability, basic tools and weapons to fight
Right.
back. And this movie did everything in a way where everything was simple and everything was just straight to the point. And to me, it helped the story because you weren't getting distracted with too much of them trying to do stuff, fake stuff. That everything would seem to be practical. You could believe that they were fighting back with these weapons. The girl and her ability, as good as she was, like she didn't like to me, she didn't come off like a Ray from Star Wars. Like,
Hmm.
how the hell does she all of a sudden know that?
No, no,
You
they
know,
showed it from the beginning.
yeah, they
She
showed
whoops
how she
ass.
developed. They show her practicing throwing the axe. They show her
Hmm.
developing her skills. You see why she modifies her weapon with with the rope and everything, and you understand through conversations with her mother, with everybody else in the community, why she was so intent on being different than what she was expected to, and as a result why that gave her the drive. To me, as simple as they kept everything, it helped with understanding a lot of what was going on and why in this movie, you know.
Yeah,
And again, it because it was 300 years in the past,
yeah.
it kept them from going too crazy with the CGI. And to your point, it was low budget, so even some of the CGI could have been helped if they had put a little bit more into it.
Right.
But I like the fact that even the Predator, he's not overdone.
Yeah.
His weapons were just straightforward, simple weapons for the Predator. And then just the story and how they built up each of the characters, their interaction. You understood why and how much their involvement with one another was. And
Hmm.
it, like you said, it gave you some understanding of the dynamic of what that culture was back then, of how they interacted, what their hierarchy was.
Hmm.
And it was just very interesting. It made me
Very interesting.
want, yeah, like you said, it got me interested. I wouldn't mind learning a little bit more of how things
Right.
were back then. And I like the little tie-in at the end. There's a certain weapon that gets shown in the movie that's a tie-in for Predator 2. So, I like the way that, they're showing that this is in the universe, this isn't in the same realm as everything else, just 300 years before.
Wow, yeah, man, it was actually really great, man. And there's another element that we can't talk about right now because it wasn't in the trailers, and it's kind of surprising a little bit, but nothing too surprising. It's not like a guest appearance or anything like
Yeah.
that. But there's another element that gets involved in the movie that you're like, oh shit, okay, this is now more interesting, right? So
Mhm.
there's something we'll talk about in the spoilers regarding that part of it. But again, I think just overall, I really have to say a great story. I mean, I wouldn't say you need to see it, but I think you should see it for sure. And it's on Hulu.
Mhm.
Listen, I didn't have Hulu, but I signed up for the 1 month free Hulu. So, and if you're gonna do it free for 1 month, do the $12.99, no commercials.
There
Like
you go. Yeah.
so I have my Hulu version for another couple of weeks there, and I'll get to watch Hulu and see if it can trick me into being a subscriber now. But yeah, I definitely watched that Prey movie, man. I'm glad you told me about it, watching it out because it was really good, man.
Cool.
So listen, Al, your final thoughts on the thing? Would you recommend people to see it? Of course.
Yeah, definitely see it. I mean, even if you're not a Predator fan, if you are into sci-fi, if you're into action, you're gonna enjoy this movie. Again, it's a Hulu movie, so actually, no, I take that back. Even if it were in the theater, I think I
No.
would have enjoyed it. It obviously would
Oh
have been a
yeah.
little bit more of a budget, but I think story-wise and the way they played everything out, I would say see it. You're gonna enjoy yourself.
Absolutely, man. I couldn't concur more with my man Al over there about this movie. So absolutely, go get your Hulu subscription or do your
Yeah.
1 month free and check it out. It's actually worth it, man.
Yeah.
So listen, let's go right into the spoiler version of this movie and talk about it in depth now. Because again, there's going to be a bunch of things that I like. There's one aspect that I didn't like and it didn't find real. And I think I saw one of the YouTubers talk about it from what are those guys? The guys with the blockbuster. He's like the fake blockbuster.
Oh, Screen Rant.
Ryan Airy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Screen junkies or screen crush.
Something
I
like
don't
that.
know.
Yeah.
Something like that. But he mentioned it too. It's just like, let me get this straight. We're in 1712. We're a bunch of Mohican Indians and they speak perfect English. And that it is funny because when he said that, I was thinking it while I was watching the movie, I was like, they spoke English? I'm like, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And he was like, they didn't speak English. And I'm like, well, I mean, I get it. I didn't want to read subtitles the whole entire
Yeah.
movie, but
See when they do stuff like that, what I instead of harping on the fact that they're speaking English, I tell myself, okay, they're speaking their native tongue.
I'm just understanding.
I'm just understanding it in English so that I can enjoy this movie.
Yeah, our uncultured ass wouldn't want to read while watch a movie. Yeah, man, that was probably my only. Now I want to say gripe because I really didn't care, honestly. Let's be honest. I like the fact that it was in English, so I could just watch a movie and listen, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was just like, that doesn't seem real to me. But that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Al, the thing I wanted to talk about was the fact that there's a point in the movie where the predator is not the bad guy anymore for like 15 minutes. He's not the bad guy, and in that 15 minutes, I was like, "Fucking kill him, kill them all."
Oh, when she got captured by the fur traders.
Yeah, the French fur traders.
Yeah, man.
At first, I couldn't do it. I was like, "What language is that shit?" I said, "So we can get French, but we can't get Indian." And
Yeah.
but then when I realized what they were, and honestly, it took me a little bit of a second there to realize that they were fur people. They were taking the skin off the buffaloes there,
Yeah.
which was crazy because at first I didn't catch the whole thing with the cigar, her
Yeah.
picking up the cigar and looking at it, and then the predator did the same exact thing.
Yeah, the
And
bear traps
I was
and
like, "Oh, this
everything.
predator's off the hook."
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I didn't get the mask at first. Like, what was he wearing?
right,
But it looks like I guess he adapted like a skull of some other
animal or
species
something.
or something. Yeah, and made it into
Yeah,
a
man.
helmet.
But let's talk about the CG in this movie, man, because again, I think that's one of the reasons why it went to Hulu's because they didn't want to spend too much money on it.
Yeah.
To be real with you, did not need the CG, honestly. I mean, to make the make the predator invisible, well, just he's there, but we don't see him,
Yeah.
right? So like that's just amazing that they didn't have to do it. And to be honest with you, the amount of times they actually showed the full Predator was very slim to none till the end of the movie, pretty much.
Yeah.
You got little shots of his leg or like some of his body armor kind of glimmering in the air there.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of cool scenes, man. The one scene that always stays in my mind from last night till today that I keep thinking about was there's a scene where every predator has a time where it's a prey.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a mouse rat kind of thing. A snake ate it. Then the snake went after something else, and I think it was the predator who got it and ate it. And it was just
Yeah.
like, oh, this is just crazy. There
Yeah.
was like 2 or 3 different things that happened all in a row to things that were predators. Now they're prey.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was like, ooh, symbolism. I caught that
Yeah.
one,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know? And again, the story itself was so interesting. Here's this girl who, first of all, she killed it as who I think was
Naru.
Naru, something.
Yeah.
She killed it as this thing.
Yeah.
You could tell from the beginning she was a badass. She's there, like Al said. At first, she was out there trying to gather either plants or roots or something like that, and then she's like, I'm gonna go practice. And she's practicing throwing this axe at this wall, at this tree,
Mm-hmm.
and she's like every time hitting the same exact point. And I'm like, oh, if that's not clear, it's clear now. She's a badass.
Yeah.
What'd you think of her character?
Yeah, no, I liked her. At first, I said, "Oh, I hope I was afraid they were gonna do an overkill where she knew everything, she had no faults, everything she tried, she did on the first shot." But I like
Yeah.
that they showed that that she was failing. So
Right. Right.
and you saw through the movie her learning from those mistakes. When she did something wrong, she learned from it and was able to then use that the next time she went out, as opposed to, oh, here's her first time hunting the predator and she's beating him in every sense.
Right.
Like,
No, she was ready to lose a couple of times.
yeah.
And how scared was she? Dude, that thing with the bear?
Oh, kid.
That that was insane.
That was a crazy scene. The scene with the lion that they were, was hunting the village, and now they went to hunt it. Yeah, that was the only part though that almost lost me, was that scene. Like, that was the only
In what
scene
sense?
like, she's on the tree limb with the lion. The lion is coming at her. The lion attacks her. She obviously didn't kill it because the brother had. I mean, obviously they showed the lion jump. You see her like stab at it.
Right from the side. It looked like she fell and stabbed at the same
stabbed
time.
it. So we're to assume she struck it and then knocked out when she fell back. Now I thought she knocked out but killed it. But then the brother says, "No, I brought you back home. Now I got to go out and get it." So you're telling me this lion who she injured sees that she's not moving and doesn't finish her off if it's not dead? That's the only part that lost me. Like, to me, I'm thinking that lion's going to kill her.
It's funny. I didn't know how to take it because then the brother at the end of the movie goes, "No, you did get the lion." And I'm like, wait a minute. Did he bring her back home and then go get the dead carcass of the tiger or the lion and bring it back and pretend that he did it?
Yeah. See,
like, wait. It's a little confusing on that part.
But other than that, like like you said, like right there with the scene with the bear, she's not trying to kill it. She shot that one arrow, she hit it, and then she said, "Oh shit," and she ran, and went for cover. Not some spectacular. Somehow she's gonna beat the bear as well, and
right.
Like, I like the fact that they like you were saying, that beginning scene showed everybody can be the hunter, but everybody also can be prey. And she was both throughout the movie. And in fact, I think that was her test that she had to pass, was she had to hunt something that was hunting her.
Right, exactly. That's what he wanted her to do for her trial. I forgot what he called it, but that was her trial.
Yep.
Yeah, and again, when the fur traders got involved into this thing, they gave me the 2 best scenes I saw in this movie, which was the predator versus the fur traders plus what was her name? Naru versus the fur traders. And they both kicked ass. One was just like, oh shit. And then she came through with her axes and the dog and all this stuff, man. It was just like, yeah, get those assholes. Yeah. Get them. It was really interesting, man. But you said something in the first non-spoiler thing. You said that there was a tool or something that they showed that was an exact weapon from Predator 2. Which one?
The the gun, the old gun that she sees at the end, and they show a name on it and a year.
Yeah.
That gun is at the end of Predator 2 when Donnie Glover wins and he finally kills the predator that was hunting all the gang members and everything.
Right.
When he wins, the predators, as like a show of respect for him having killed the predator, they give him a gun like as a trophy or as a sign of respect. That gun is the gun that you see her with at the end of this movie.
Oh man, that means she dies in part 2.
That's yeah. Well, at the end, you remember at the end that they show a video clip of the, like, I think it's like either one or two alien ships coming down. So I guess at
Wait, there's an
least,
after credit scene?
well, when they're showing the credits, if you watch the drawings that they're showing on the screen, the drawing is of like the tribe going out onto the field, and then you see from the sky a drawing of two of the planes or one of the planes coming down. So
No way. I stopped watching once the credits came up.
yeah, no, if you watch the drawing, it tells like a story and you see the aliens coming down. But it stops there. Like you don't know what happens next. So I don't know if that's them alluding to a sequel or,
Right.
trying to whet our appetite so that we can ask, clamor for a sequel.
Hmm.
But it would also set up like, well, if she has the gun, how do they then get it to give to him at the end of 2?
Right.
So, but that was like, that's what I said. That was a nice little tie-in without being too over the top
Right.
of showing, yes, this is in the
That's
same
definitely
universe.
for Predator fans because
Yeah.
I did not remember that at all. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I also like the way that they didn't like jam everything into the woods. Like
Hmm.
there were a lot of scenes where they were just running through open field, and it gave that evenness because now he can't use his cloak to hide in the trees on the limbs and hide, always have the high ground. Now it's just open field and everybody's just running. So
Right.
yeah, I like the fact that that's what I'm saying. Like even though she didn't have any high tech weaponry, machine guns or nothing like that to fight back, she
Mhm.
used what she had to her advantage to her advantage.
Absolutely. And how about that end fight between her and the Predator, where I think she told the fur trader, "That's the problem. Everyone thinks I'm the prey."
Yeah.
I was like, "That's awesome."
Yeah. Good.
And then she set up the Predator with the same exact move she did to capture the lion, which was set up prey
Hmm.
for the Predator to go after, which she set up the fur trader with the gun in his hand, but it was a blank.
Yeah.
But and this is one of the things I didn't like, and this happens in so many movies because they have to set up stuff. She was talking to somebody. I think she went to go find one of the tribesmen that was out hunting that they couldn't find, and they were like, "Oh, let her come because she's gonna know how to heal him. She knows medicine." So she goes, "Here's the orange medicine," and it's like she was just like, "Here's the orange medicine. It makes your blood cold."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh,
Okay.
so I guess you're gonna use this at some point so that the predator doesn't see you, huh?"
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, Dude, that was so obvious." And
Yeah.
I'm like, "Come on, hide it better. Hide it better." I know I watch a lot of movies and I'm gonna see these things, but that was really bad. It's just like it hides your blood. It makes your blood cold.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, at some point she's gonna eat that stuff so that she's. And it was pretty cool how it worked. I mean, I still don't understand how there's no heat temperature, but that's science minds.
Yeah.
It's a movie.
Yeah. Just suspend your disbelief there and just accept what they tell you and show you.
Yeah. Yeah, but like that end battle, man, where she sets up the predator, man. What'd you
Hmm.
think about that?
I thought it was cool. Like it was it just went to the ingenuity that they showed she had throughout the movie. Like she was very observant. She was very much able to look at scenarios and situations and see what she had to do to get the best outcome from it. And they show her look at him using the three laser beam and then shoot.
Laser beams, yeah.
Yeah. And then you see her set it up, but I like the way, again, they made her such a strong character without hitting you over the head with it,
Hmm.
that you see how she sets him up, and the way she sets him up is she doesn't even use it directly. She like hides it off to the side and gets him so focused on her that he doesn't realize what she's about to do.
Right.
She gets him, like, she takes advantage of his overconfidence that there's no way she can take me. And meanwhile, she got him.
Yeah, man. Awesome movie, man.
Yeah.
Really awesome movie. I guess the last question I have on this movie, Al, is are you interested in seeing a part two after watching this, man? And I think I personally am. I am open and ready to see some more Prey.
Oh yeah, definitely. I would like to see another one. I would like to see them do more of these in different time zone, like time settings. Like, maybe another one in another past setting, but maybe a little closer to now. Like,
Mm,
show what happens when they come back, to a different setting. I mean, if you're retconning the full AVP, the Alien versus Predator movies, and making
right.
their backstory that they played out non-relevant anymore, then let's see more of the universe building, or take us even more into the future where maybe we're on an even keel and we're
Right.
hunting them. Maybe now
Oh,
show us a future now where we found their planet and we're going to them. Like, I wouldn't mind seeing that one.
yeah.
That would be an interesting version of Aliens versus Predators.
Yeah, man. I mean, again, it's just an interesting concept and a crazy character that it's like one of those characters that we can't stop making movies of. Well, we can always find a way to make a movie. Like I think there's certain like horror characters and sci-fi characters that there's always going to be a way to bring them back and do something different with them. And
Mhm.
like you just said, you gave a bunch of perfect examples of different movies. Like I could see a Wild West version where everyone has like these guns and like revolvers and shotguns trying to go after this thing.
Yeah.
It could be something very interesting. But I think they have to do what they did with this one is give it time. I think now you could do a Prey Part 2 in a couple of years or so, but
Mhm.
once it starts to get corny again, disappear for a couple of years and
Yeah.
come back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's what kind of made Prey a little bit interesting because we haven't seen the Predators in a long time,
Yeah.
you know? And I wanted to ask Al because of this movie. I was thinking about all the Predators movies I've seen. I've seen Predator 1, Predator 2, Predators, and
Mhm.
I've seen Alien versus Predator. I've seen so many different Predator movies. It's been absolutely crazy. And I'm just trying to think about like either your favorite moment or your favorite Predator movie that you've seen.
Um, well, my favorite has to be the first one, Predator, with Arnold
Mhm.
Schwarzenegger and everything, because you do
A
have
man's man movie.
kid, yeah. I mean, but when it comes down to it, you have an elite fighting team who's out in the middle of the jungle, and you have this predator who's taking them out one by one, and
Mhm.
you just see how the fight goes back and forth. You have Arnold Schwarzenegger finding out how to fight back and not giving up, and that famous line, "If it bleeds, we can kill it," which they used in Prey.
Uh-huh.
Um, but then from there, another one, only because I liked the fact that at least they tried something different, was Predators. Right, that's the one
Yes.
where they
I think
get.
Adrian Brody was in
Yeah,
that
he
in
was
that
the
one,
main
right?
guy. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
I thought that was an interesting concept. Instead of the alien coming here, you show them taking people to a random planet and then
Dropping
letting,
them in.
yeah, just dropping them in almost like PUBG style and saying, "All right, everybody survive and we're coming for you."
Yeah, that movie was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I like I said, I think sometimes it's always hard to beat the original, especially when the original is fantastic, right?
Yeah.
Predator 1, man, I still can recall being in the movie theaters with my mom and my cousin. I don't think my little brother came, but for some reason I remember my cousin was there with my mom and I. And I just remember the one scene, of course, that everyone remembers is when it's the five like WrestleMania guys, like Jesse the Body Ventura, Action Jackson was in there. And they're all with their muscles and these huge, like ridiculous guns.
Yeah.
And they shot nothing. They were shooting at nothing. And
Can't.
the whole movie theater, after they unloaded for 5 minutes at nothing,
Yeah.
the whole theater's like, woo! Did nothing.
Yeah. Okay. What's his name? Had a Gatling gun and he did nothing, kid. Like that
And
should have leveled a building, and he did not. There wasn't even a drop of blood.
nothing, dude. They hit nothing. We cheered for them missing. it's a movie moment that I'll never forget, man. And it's just I always remember that movie. And it also because there was so many memorable moments of the movie, man. I remember like Arnold Schwarzenegger in the freaking wall with the mud all over his face. I mean, just a classic movie, man. And I just hope they never have to remake that movie. Let's just let that one be. Let people find it and watch it. It probably looks horrific on 4K, but and it's a Shane Black movie, right? If I'm correct, Shane Black did that one.
I think so. I'd have to look it
right?
up. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So those Predator movies, they all have their fan bases, but I definitely agree with you, man. Predators, and Prey right now is pretty good. Alien versus Predator was a little weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like that one too much. And there's a whole bunch of Predator movies, but
that
if
most
you stick
recent
with those
one
three,
with the kid, I didn't get that one. Like, I didn't understand what they were trying to do with that one.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, man. Maybe we can go to their planet finally and
that I'm
kick their
telling
ass.
you, they do that. Like, put it in the future where we've advanced and somehow we've learned of the history of them coming to Earth. So now somehow through science we found where they are and we are able to get to them.
Right.
And then do that movie. That'd be
Absolutely,
interesting.
man.
I'd want to see that one.
Hell yeah, man. I would love to see that, man. So, I mean, guys, listen, there wasn't really much to talk about this week, but we wanted to talk about Prey for sure after watching it, man. You guys really, really should check it out if you haven't and you listen to us talk about it. There's so much stuff that we didn't talk about in like minute details there, but it's so, so good, man. It's a good story. And of course, we want to celebrate good stories because then those movies or those people who write those stories get opportunities to make better movies down the road. So please go watch it on Hulu. Don't download it illegally, please. All right, man. So listen, that's going to be us for this week. We're going to end it right there, and then we'll get back to you guys as we normally do every week with another podcast. We'll see what movies are coming out this week and maybe come up with a review, a prep, or we'll talk about something that's going on in the movies. So if you are not a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button on YouTube, or if you're listening to us on a podcast app, please hit the plus symbol on the Real Fan Review. So that way, every time we put out a podcast, you'll get access and listen to us talk about our favorite pastime, which is movies, movie news, movie rumors, and comic book movies. Oh, we love those. But we listen, we watch everything. We watch action, horror, and we talk about it on the podcast. So make sure you guys come back next week. So listen, saying good night from Long Island, New York. As you can see, the shirt says Strong Island. We got our man in the chair, Al.
Have a good night, everybody.
We got myself, Hop, saying good night, guys, and thank you again. Thank you so much for listening. Please send us an email, therealfanreview@gmail.com. Let us know your thoughts, comments, or if you're listening or watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit a comment below, and we'll talk to you guys on the next podcast. Until next time.